What's going on, guys? So I've been using the Samsung Galaxy Watch Active for over a month now, and I'm honestly really impressed with it. My expectations were actually really low, and right now, I think that this guy is actually pretty amazing. So welcome to my review of the Samsung Galaxy Watch Active. So it's more than clear that Samsung brutally copied Apple with the Samsung Galaxy Watch Active, but by no means I'm saying that it's a bad thing, because the Apple Watch is an amazing device. So I've always wanted to try out a smartwatch that was round, because the Apple Watch, as you guys know, is square and I love it. But I was always interested to see how a round smartwatch actually was, and the experience is actually not that bad as I thought. Technically speaking, a squared smartwatch is better, because squared, all screens are squared, and all the operative systems, all the design, all the UX is perfectly for the squared design. So in a round smartwatch, you're getting a lot of rounded corners that are cut off, but Samsung has done really well to actually adapt the OS to a round interface. The Galaxy Watch Active has a beautiful design. In fact, it's my second favorite smartwatch design out in the market right now. I love how minimal it is. The Apple Watch kind of has a more of a complex design, since we've got the digital crown and the side button. This smartwatch right here, like, it feels like there's only one, because the buttons don't really stand out, and it makes it look like there's really cool minimal feel to it. If you ask me personally, it's a bit too small. Since the screen size is so small, it doesn't really make you have such a good experience like you would have on the Apple Watch. The operative system is actually not that bad, but the buttons are way too small. A thing that I really like about the Apple Watch is that buttons feel like the same, like you're using them on the iPhone. Sure, they're a little bit smaller than the iPhone, but they're totally usable. Apple makes the buttons big because since it's on your wrist, you're usually walking and you don't really want to point exactly in the right position. Apple just wants you to have good buttons, good big buttons that you just want to press. With the Galaxy Watch Active, like every single button, you have to be extremely careful. Like this, you tap what you want correctly. The size of the round bezel on the watch is actually quite big, but since the operative system is pretty black, you don't really notice that bezel. Comparing it to the Apple Watch, the design, the display of the Apple Watch goes edge to edge. It's absolutely beautiful. Like you feel like you're actually pressing on the buttons. Here, the bezel is too big, but once again, you don't really notice it. It's got an IP68 rating, which makes it go up to 1.5 meters for up to 30 minutes. So the thing that I was really worried to try out was the actual speed. The Galaxy Watch Active has 750 megabytes of RAM. So is it slow? Is it fast? I wouldn't really say it's slow, and I wouldn't necessarily say that it's a fast device. It's actually not slow, but Samsung, the animations that Samsung has put whenever you get a notification, for example, that process, those animations feel like the actual watch is kind of slow. So I guess the only thing that Samsung has to do to improve this guy is improve those animations like this. It actually makes the watch more fluid. Another thing that I don't really like about the Galaxy Watch Active is the app selection. The app selection, if you think that the Apple Watch app selection sucks, get this guy and you'll see that nobody makes apps for this guy. Literally nobody. There's Spotify, and that's pretty much it. So probably one of the best things that Samsung has done with the Galaxy Watch Active is, of course, you can connect your Galaxy Watch Active with a bunch of different Android phones. But not only that, you can actually connect it with your iPhone. Yes, that's actually pretty impressive, because the price that the Galaxy Watch Active actually comes in, it actually competes with the Apple Watch. But you can't really compare it to the Apple Watch. I'll talk about pricing and comparing it to the Apple Watch at the end of the video, but it's honestly really impressive that you can actually connect it with your iPhone. I was actually pretty blown away. I actually did not know that when I actually bought this device. I actually connected it with my S10 and I was using it, but then I connected it to my iPhone. I'm like, wow, this actually works. Not all the features work. Like, you're getting the best experience, of course, if you pair it with your S10, because all your health data will go to Samsung Health. It won't go to Apple Health. So the not the Apple ecosystem, the Samsung ecosystem, it's so much better than if you're using it with the iPhone. The Galaxy Watch Active also has GPS. It's got NFC for Samsung Pay, of course, no Apple Pay. You've got Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, and one thing that really surprised me is that this guy actually doesn't have speakers. Yeah, that's probably one of the worst things about this smartwatch, is that it actually doesn't have a speaker. So whenever you get a notification, so you're simply the actual watch is just going to tap you. It's not going to notify you via sound. If somebody calls you, you can't take calls on it. It will simply transfer it over to your phone. That's one of the worst things, because one of the best things for me having my Apple Watch is whenever I don't really have my phone around and somebody calls me, I can simply, call, which is pretty frustrating. You've got a microphone though, so you can still, reply to text via voice commands. So it doesn't have speakers, but one really good thing about the smartwatch is that it's actually got a great battery life. life. It's got a 230 milliamp battery, but it actually lasts me 2 days. With my Apple Watch, maybe I'm using my Apple Watch more. I don't really use that Galaxy Watch Active that much because it doesn't have that many features. Either way though, it's actually quite impressive that the battery life is lasting me 2 full days. Like the Apple Watch, it lasts me like, let's say I go to bed with my Apple Watch at like 10%, 5%, because I use my Apple Watch a lot. Maybe it's that. One feature that might not be really useful, but definitely really cool, is you can actually change the style, basically the home screen wallpaper of your home screen of the Galaxy Watch Active. You change it via the mobile app, and there's actually quite a lot of wallpapers that you can actually choose from. As I said, not really useful, but definitely really cool. All right, so let's talk about the software now. Let's talk about the apps. As I said, the app selection is actually pretty bad. You can barely download any apps because they're honestly pretty useless. Spotify app, sure, it's great, it's welcome, but other than that, you can't really download any others. And Samsung stock apps, like there's barely any either, but the apps that there are, let me tell you that they're actually pretty amazing. Starting off with the activity app, it's actually great, and in my opinion, it's actually much more complex than Apple's. It's just packed with features. You can track your steps, the floors, the calories, exercise, sleep tracking. Yes, sleep tracking is available on the Galaxy Watch Active, and that's one of the things that is not available on the Apple Watch. So Apple, once again, if you're watching this, please add sleep tracking on the Apple Watch. I've been asking for this for years. It's about time. Get it? Galaxy Watch, Apple Watch, time. Funny, the activity app isn't rings like what we find on the Apple Watch. It's got this heart-shaped design, which I actually really like. So one of my favorite things about this smartwatch is definitely the activity app. Like if I could bring this activity app with packed of features and packed of tracking, and like you can track so much stuff onto the Apple Watch, I'd be so happy, because in my opinion, the activity app that we get on the Galaxy Watch Active is so much better than on the Apple Watch. On the Apple Watch, you can also share your activity, a thing that you can't do on the Galaxy Watch Active. So maybe both of them together would be pretty cool. You've also got the Breathe app. You've also got the Breathe app on the watch face. Basically, just Samsung just copying Apple full on. They don't really care because it works. And the actual Breathe app is actually quite great. And the design is actually quite great. So as I said, like these small things is what makes the Samsung Galaxy Watch really look like the Apple Watch. But as I said, that's not a bad thing, because the experience that I had with this watch was actually pretty amazing. And the Galaxy Watch Active has so many watch faces. In fact, too many watch faces. You can actually download third-party watch faces, which is something that I want Apple to do forever. The Fit feature is an amazing watch face. I love the design, but other than that, all the other watch faces that there are, maybe the Breathe watch face, all the other third-party watch faces you can download are ugly. So like that's one of the reasons that I don't want Apple to open up the third-party watch face store on the Apple Watch, because it's just not a good idea, because there's just a lot of designers that aren't really good designers. I'm sorry if you've designed a watch face on the Galaxy Watch Active, but I just personally don't like them. So if Apple decides to open up the third-party watch face store on the Apple Watch, they would really have to select certain brands. For example, I don't know, Nike to do them, Adidas, Disney. I think that would be really cool to have like 10 brands for them, like as developers, to open up new watch faces for us. But I don't think it's a good idea for Apple to open up, you know, to let everybody design watch faces. So concluding the video, do I recommend the Galaxy Watch Active, and is it better than the Apple Watch? And I don't think this comparison is fair, because definitely the first thing that we have to look at is the price. Let's just say it. This smartwatch costs only $200, and that's a really affordable price, and especially since this smartwatch is actually compatible with the iPhone, it's a really tempting price. Sure, technically the Apple Watch is better than the Galaxy Watch Active, but for the price, the Galaxy Watch Active I'm sure has a better value than the Series 4. So I guess we shouldn't really compare the Galaxy Watch Active to the Apple Watch Series 4. Maybe it'd be a fair comparison if we compare it to the Series 2, because this doesn't have a speaker, but of course this doesn't have a speaker, and it lacks a couple features because of the price, because it's a really affordable price. So if you think the Apple Watch is too expensive, maybe it's worth you trying out this Galaxy Watch Active. If you like the design of it, go ahead. It's an amazing device. The Galaxy Watch Active is really focused on fitness. The Apple Watch as well, but this one is like really focused. Like the Apple Watch can do so much more. This smartwatch can't do that much things because it's really focused on fitness. So if you just want to track your fitness, if you just want to track your runs, you want to have music as well with Spotify, if you want to get all your notifications, this smartwatch will be perfect. Maybe not perfect, because this is not a perfect device, but it's pretty good for the price and it's got a great value. So yeah, that's pretty much it for my review on the Galaxy Watch Active. I'm honestly really surprised with my opinion with the Galaxy Watch Active because I thought I really wasn't going to like this guy. I was like, Samsung released a $200 smartwatch. I might as well try it out and I might as well rant on it. But it's a really amazing device and I'm honestly surprised that I'm actually recommending it to you. I'll drop a link down below if you guys want to get this guy. So yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.